Okay, we have started now. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Abdullah Jeme, a good friend of mine from Los Angeles. I am definitely very fortunate to get a hold of him today because I reached out to him about 2 years ago when I first started working on this film. Because, as some people who would be watching already know, that this film's music arm is heavily influenced by the ethos and culture of the underground electronic music scene. And Abdullah just has a very fascinating story in my eyes as someone who hails from Saudi Arabia in Riyadh and ended up in Los Angeles in the times that we both were in Los Angeles, being inspired by the scene and just carrying on that vibe and launching his own record label, if I'm telling accurate details here, but basically carrying on his journey as an electronic music producer. So we'll get to learn a lot about that very soon. But firstly, thank you, brother, for joining me in this interview. It's so good to see you. You look the same. You definitely look the same.
Thank you so much for reaching out and touching base like every time about like talking about the project. We talked about, like you said, 2 years ago, and thank you so much for reaching out again and like being part of this project. I'm excited and I'm so happy that like we're talking again after LA. Like the time we spent, like we used to see each other, I think every weekend, probably like
There were a lot
throughout.
of parties.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
still in touch with Wasim and I think it was Anwar, right? Another person, the
Yes, Wasim
photographer.
and Amr. Yes, we
Yeah,
still
yeah.
actually talked to him yesterday.
Where are they?
Wasim is in LA still.
Okay,
Probably gonna meet in Mexico in January.
nice. That's
Yeah.
good plans. I like it. Oh, that's great. So I think there's a lot to cover here. And so I think a good place to start would be, did your electronic music production journey start from LA, or were you into electronic music before moving to LA? What was even the reason for you being in LA?
So the reason for me to be in LA is I used to study medicine here in Saudi Arabia for like
Medicine?
yeah, after
Like
high
a
school.
doctor? Like
Like to be a
monitoring?
doctor, and thank God I'm not. you know so after high school, I went to the medical school for 3 years. After that they shut down the college for us, the government. It was a bit corrupted, and then I asked for a scholarship out of Saudi. I wanted to continue in US, but they told me I have to start from the beginning. It's a 9 years process, and I was like, you know what, let me think about what I really want to be. And so I decided to go to San Diego to study business school, international business. I
Okay.
thought this is who I am. I always loved being with international people from different countries, like traveling with my dad. Um, After that, 2 years there in San Diego, studying English language school. One day, one of my friends, my roommates actually, he was a DJ. He left me a mixer, and he got his degree from San Diego, and he just left. And he left me a small mixer. He's like, dude, if you want to use it, use it. I know you're interested. You're interested in music, And I was like, okay. And that was my first time actually. Like I didn't use the mixer, but I went to the digital, putting virtual DJ, downloading Ableton, trying to make sound. And I just left it there. Like, but throughout the years, I like after going to event and getting inspired, moving to LA and like being part of the scene, I really wanted to create my own, sound. And I started like DJing, and I really didn't want it to start as a career. It's just like I love music, and I love to be surrounded by people who loves music. And I got that mixer and started playing, I started playing, recording my sets, and I put it on my Facebook. After that, the DJ career started. Like I started to get booked, like not booked, but if you want to come play for free, I did that for probably 2 years, and I got to meet a lot of people like from the music scene, art scene, and everyone actually in LA. Like it's a variety of everything, and we got to meet so many different people, and we got to bond with them. And at these parties, there was bond and there was connection. It wasn't just a party. There were like it was more than that, honestly. And we got to meet each other there. I got to meet your
Absolutely.
friends. You got to meet my friend. It was lovely. after that, I decided to start my record label and to push the record label and connect all the Saudi and Arab artists, and the people I know, the sound that, like we didn't have a lot of artists or record labels in Saudi, music producers for electronic music. But now it's growing more and more, and I'm so happy I started KNZ Record already there and came back to Saudi. That I have record label already, which is, we didn't have any record labels for, I think we only had one or two for electronic music. So I'm happy to be one of the first here, and push the boundaries and bring everyone together. It's like bridging the culture gap between countries, and I want to make KNZ Records a showcase for all artists, no matter where they are from. I just want to push them, and that was the initial idea, and it's going somewhere now. Like I'm investing in it and making music on the side, DJing here in Saudi. It's been a lovely journey, honestly.
It sounds
Yeah.
a very fascinating journey from studying medicine to in Saudi Arabia, I'm assuming, and the college getting shut down and ending up in San Diego Business School. And then from there, obviously, if you're there and you have a taste in music and someone gives you a electronic music mixer, the rest of the path just makes sense from there because the electronic music community is thriving in Los Angeles. And there's, like you said, just so much going on. You have the popular genres of electronic music, and you have all this experimental stuff going on in the underground scene. Wait, what was the name of the label again? How do you spell that?
KNZ Record, KNZ. KNZ, it's the Arabic word for hidden treasure.
I like the choice of name, KNZ Records. It's definitely seems like a pioneering move, starting a record label around electronic music, being inspired by the experiences in Los Angeles. Because I remember, did you also play at Pattern Bar?
Oh yeah.
So you friends with Surge and
So,
Yervant and those guys?
yeah.
Yeah. I call them my Habibi house crew with love and a lot of respect. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That-
Yervant's also making music for the film, and I'm sure at some point Serge is gonna cross paths with us. He's always been a champion of the few things that we do for sure. But coming back to what is worthy of attention in your story is coming back to Saudi Arabia and starting KNZ Records and defining the vision for the sound of this label and encouraging other like-minded people in Saudi Arabia to join the journey. Was it like very easy for you to explain them this art form? And is there already a scene there, or was it like a little bit of them educating you, you educating them, and then trying to figure out what works here?
Before, when I was in LA, my vision was to stay in LA and like continue the record label there. But Saudi Arabia in 2019, they've been like already in a progress of change. And music was before it's kind of looked down upon. Music is there, but it's not. It's still prohibited, and that's my mindset.
Yeah.
But in 2019, there was festivals happening. They were like showcasing artists in Saudi, and I was so impressed. Like I thought, oh wow, we have a lot of artists in Saudi, and it's kind of inspired me and pushed me to go back where I'm from, and take this journey from the beginning from my hometown. Like I thought that would be more interesting for me than being in LA. So I decided to move back actually to Saudi. And since then, it's the journey literally took off differently. Like I can see the difference if I started in LA or in Saudi, but it took a different turn. It took like a more in a perspective where we need to educate people as well about the let's say what they call it, not on music and art culture, well-being, all these things that we actually used to do in LA when we go to parties or like events. The whole package is like educating people about the nightlife, ethics and the music, the different of music, how to connect with music, well-being. And all that matters, man. Art, you know, all these, like how to connect with art, how to connect with artists, you know, like, and appreciate their art. It's a whole different journey than just being a musician, you know, or a record label owner. And we do events here and there, you know, like now we have different communities. Before we have only small communities, now we have different communities. Now we're getting together. There's a music conference that's happening in a week for the whole region, not only Saudi Arabia. So we're gonna meet a lot of people from around the world. And I'm excited, you know, like they're gonna present KNZ, they're gonna present me as the record label owner, and we have to talk about with other record label owners, like big names from LA and from, you know, and I'm so happy to be in that place. And it's also a lot of responsibility, but I'm happy. That's my passion, you know. So I'm gonna give as much as I can. First to myself, to push myself to be a better artist and make timeless music, and also push the people, my community, you know, like bring new artists, let them shape their own sound, you know, because now we're in a phase where we're trying to make a music economy, right? So we need to create music academies. We need to create, you know, like we don't have promoters, we don't have venues, we don't have, still, you know, we're still growing in that aspects. So it's exciting, man.
It
It's
sounds like you definitely have a vision for where this is going, short term, long term, which is great. Just to sort of summarize everything you said. So you actually came across artists from Saudi Arabia while you were attending music festivals in Southern California. And that was one of the reasons why you felt like, oh, actually, you know, I can connect these two worlds. I can go back and probably have a more rewarding path as an artist. Is that a correct understanding of what you mentioned, right?
I saw it on social media. I saw on
Okay.
social media that there are events happening in Saudi.
In Saudi Arabia. So that
In
gave you
Saudi,
hope.
yeah. Yeah, and it was the
Okay.
first ever event happening in Saudi, you know, like public
Okay.
event and music and electronic music, and I was like, wait, what? So it's now we're talking, you know, like, and then I literally, it took me time to change my mind. Of imagine if you're going to LA and you want to pursue your dream there and live there, then out of the sudden and just like, no, I want to go back. I want to go back because I really because I do this, that I think I was following my passion. I was following my dream. I was like, you know, I was following the music. I didn't follow where my next job was gonna be, or, and now like this is my full-time job here in Saudi. Like I'm only a musician. I get paid from gigs, from my collaborations with, you know, films, making music and all that. I'm super happy.
I'm so glad. I'm proud of you too. I'm so glad you were able to find like-minded people in Saudi Arabia. Probably a good thing is that you got a chance to stay closer to family too. I think that's a positive
Yeah.
always, right?
Yeah.
And so that's beautiful. But another thing that you mentioned, which again is worthy of attention here, is the good intentions set forth before, like what any of those parties that we would run into each other, right? And I think that was a thriving community, just constantly pushing each other to chase after their creative potential. And the good thing is that you managed to build a new one and find similar people in Saudi Arabia. And now you have this like long-term vision, which has its own unique flavor, I'm sure. But the good intention set forth in that community was definitely something that stood out to me as
Definitely.
well. So I know that we would meet at a bunch of parties. Like honestly, like you know, my good friend and co-founder Rasik is more familiar with the name of the various entities who would be organizing. I mean, I can name a few, like you know, Patton Bar was one of them,
Yeah.
and there were like there was obviously the rave scene
Temple
as well.
Tuesday.
Temple Tuesdays, right? So
Yeah.
you had these famous spots, and there was this like rave culture too, which
Yeah.
was very experimental with its electronic
It
music.
was.
What are some of your favorite people or entities who you thought were really pushing the envelope on electronic music and the kind of genres that you gravitate towards?
Honestly, there were so many, but the thing that stood out honestly about community and like the sorry, delivering quality, and like literally when I go, I come back home inspired, full on, you know, inspiration. So I think it was subculture. Uh, if you remember subculture,
Yeah,
subtract also they used to do it on the pier. Do you remember?
Long Beach Subtract at
Long
the pier,
Beach,
right?
yes. Yeah, we had a lot of
Anton,
performers, and yeah.
remember Anton Tumas and Trevor
Anton,
Moontribe,
yeah,
a few
Anton
people.
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to check out Moontribe while you were there?
Moon Tribe, yes. We went to
Okay.
the desert with Moon Tribe. Uh,
Like
yeah, it
really
was
like
me, Wasim. It was very interesting, you know, like the good thing is like what I love is honestly I find interesting is it's different when you accept when you have acceptance of other sounds, other experiences, you know. For
yeah,
me, that's what I loved about like dude, I loved every like like hopping to from like every weekend, like exploring new sounds. And that's what helped me also like as an artist now. Like I don't want to create, I don't want to strict myself to a genre, you know, like I will make the music and see how it goes, you know, like I will take it from there.
yeah.
Honestly, like Moon Tribe experience, I still remember it and I have glimpses. I remember me being on the dance floor. I remember me and Wasim dancing by the car, like far away from the dance floor, you know. And I met a lot of interesting people that I still am in touch with right now, you know. It's been amazing, man. It's been amazing our journey in LA or
Absolutely. I mean, one of the reasons why that's definitely is a big inspiration to do this is to sort of catch up with everyone and celebrate all the crazy inspiration that was there and just trying to check in with people, how they're doing. And like in a lot of ways, similar to you, I'm also trying to like, use all that inspiration and it's definitely made me what I am today as a filmmaker. And so I'm hoping that we will be able to tell a good story. Like I'm in India now, and electronic music is famous. Like it's not something new over here as well. I think psychedelic electronic music is also gaining more acceptance slowly and slowly. Like you said, it's like partly setting forth good intentions and then being able to explain it a very simple way where it's acceptable by as many people as possible, right? Any thoughts on like psychedelic electronic music, and if that's an inspiration, how do you even describe that genre to someone who's new to it?
um I mean, I was talking to my brother actually 2 days ago. He got invited to a party here in Saudi. It's it's called Trans Family.
Okay.
So he got invited there, and he told me like, dude, it's completely different than the music you play or you sent me. It's too bit fast, but I saw people are like enjoying it and like literally like they're in a different world. He thought like the people on the dance floor. I was like, for me, I don't know. I used to listen to it before, but now I have completely different like taste and stuff. But he's like, okay, how do you explain it? I was like, then I started explaining him the BPM. So the BPM it's beat per minute, and usually the for the human being is the beat per minute is like the maybe probably I don't know. Like I was giving an example, and I was telling him for me now was it what pushed me is the BPM from 120. Maybe I go to a different word. Maybe if while I'm listening, like
Mhm.
I meditate or something. But in that kind of sound, like people are different, man. They listen, they like to different genre, they like different BPM, they like fast, they like a slow, there's like breakbeat. And I started because he's still new. He doesn't know much about electronic music. But I was trying to explain him trance and he enjoyed it, like he went to the trance family and he told me the people that are listening to it are different kind of mindset than the crowd from here, like it's a different communities really, like, and they're chill. It's like I didn't know. He's telling me the difference between the music and the personality. Is telling me they're chill. I love everyone there, but the music you listen to, it's too fast. And I was like, okay.
It can be a bit too like intense for someone, the high energy music. And I'm sure you know Della Moon, right? And so
Yeah.
I was interviewing her as part of this project, and she shared something very interesting in her interviews. Like, a lot of people find this music hard, but I find this joyous. And she actually, how her journey started from very down tempo, chill stuff, where she'd be very shy to play music in front of people, and she would be the last one to play. And but slowly and gradually she started gaining interest in dubstep and how it transformed into like, her belief that there's a lot of potential in, psychedelic drum and bass style of music, its primal element, and its ability to project people outside their bodies and like really help them experience that emotional release that they
That's
need.
true. Yeah.
That's how I would explain it now. Is basically we use those words to try to articulate it, to that feeling of just letting loose and
That's what
enjoying your expression.
that's exactly what I was telling my brother. I was like,
Yeah,
when he said about he was telling me about the night and stuff. What I understood from him. I told him, dude, you see, like they're there to dance and literally escape, and literally they kind of like they meditate and they refill, recharge from that music. Like this is the way a way to look at it. Like a lot of people find like having different communities and varieties of music is good, really, like in LA, like that what was in LA, like you have different sounds and different, we used to go to all these parties, right? And listen to, like, I have different experience. And literally that's what I want to do even here in Saudi. Like we want to have different communities. Hey, you like dubstep, you like, a trance, there is there is a community for that. There is a quality people who are actually can deliver a quality people and literally take you on a journey, pushes boundaries as well. Like you can't, like some people don't enjoy, for example, down tempo music.
yeah.
But if the only thing you have is down tempo, that's a problem. For me, we want to have all kind of varieties. Uh, Comes to pushing all artists, be true artists, and play the sounds that they really want to play, and not be, like influenced by the crowd because the crowd only want to listen to this. No, I'm an artist and this is my style, and this I'm gonna take you on a journey right now. Just like I love this. I love this. Perspective. As artists, and they trust their own sound and they just play.
Which I think
And
is great because I think they're being vulnerable with their expression, whether it's joyous music, as perceived as joyous music or hard music in Della's case, or it's about being honest in your expression, I guess, to some extent, being vulnerable about it, and liking it yourself, believing in that style yourself, and then I guess other people sort of always can guide the rest of the journey. But coming
yeah,
back to the idea of like so many genres and so many different styles of electronic music being present in LA, I think that created an environment where people were sort of compelled to keep experimenting. And when you're experimenting, you obviously innovate and come up with like all these new styles of playing electronic music, which I'm sure, which is kind of what you're doing right now. Please do send me something so that I can like throw in this interview in the end, like one of your
I
favorite
will.
tracks. We can end the interview with that. But yeah, that's beautiful, brother, that there's a lot, I can see a lot of parallels between how you've been inspired by the scene in terms of chasing after your creative potential. And I'm very excited to learn that you're doing KNZ Records and you're attending all these events. The present vision sounds like you're very busy. You're saying you're a full-time musician now, making music for films and events and gigs, which is great. Do you want to maybe talk about like the long-term vision here? You kind of covered it, but you want to like take another stab at it and just define it in this moment?
Honestly, I want as an artist, I have two visions. I have for me as an artist and for the record label.
Okay.
Because here in Saudi, like since it's was this a new scene, we have like it's a hungry scene kind of. We have a lot of events happening. At some point, I was like, I should literally just stop focus on yourself as an artist instead of going playing gigs every weekend and like. So I had to think about this vision honestly. For me as an artist, I want to focus more on Jeme and create more music, timeless music that touches people's hearts and souls. And and I want to get nominated for best music producer for all genre. Like literally
Yeah.
that's what I want to, that's my vision. I just want to create good music and spend my time wisely as an artist for music, and for me to create a music, and for to DJ, because I really love the DJ and being performing with the crowds, you know. So I love that, and I also love to give myself time to make good music, and I'm trying really hard to balance that. And the other vision is to push KNZ Record to be a platform for all artists, you know, like to create great art and amazing art that I will try hard to make it reach the biggest number it can be, you know, like that's the vision for KNZ, honestly. I know it sounds like it sounds simple, but I want to take it step by step, you know, like I want to make it, yeah. And I see what's going to happen along the way. I'm really excited for what's coming along the way. Yeah.
Beautiful. I do this with every person that I'm interviewing for the film. I kind of put them on the spot and almost force them to define a vision if they don't have it already. But it seems like you have something in mind, and more power to you on that. I think you would be a great candidate to ask this question, because I feel like you're definitely pushing boundaries in terms of, you know, coming from the culture you do, right? And then having this vision of almost unifying people through art, and also being experimental and being inspired by the experimental electronic music scene of Los Angeles. Do you feel like it is important to practice some restraint in your artistic expression so that it's palatable to someone who's completely new to it, or you just go hard?
So I love this thing is like sometimes you play it by ear and see what's gonna happen, but there's much preparation that comes in practice before that. You know, like knowing for me now, like I prepare some kind of, let's put it in this context, you know, I prepare, for example, a music for a set I'm gonna play. I know the sound I'm gonna play, so I prepare a playlist. But when I go there, when I see the crowd, I completely perform a different set, you know, like so. But because I want, you know,
Is that like you going into the set with an idea, and there's some restraint, and then just people accept you and they like cheer you up? You're like, all right, now I'm gonna do my thing. Now I'm gonna take them on, like whatever journey I'm going on here. Obviously, there's a lot of good intention, like because you like the way you articulate how you want to influence people by music is, you know, it's uplifting and well intentioned. So end result would be that, I would imagine.
yeah, but it's also like while performing, it's just not just about playing tracks and stuff. It's building a journey, you know. Like
Yeah.
I always, when I take that road, I always get a feedback differently from people, you know, like who will come not just, oh, great night, great set. You know, like I got high on or something. No, it's really differently. Like I have people who come, like especially here in Saudi, they're like, dude, like, for example, I'm a first timer, you know, for this electronic music, and it really touches my heart, what kind of music it is. And we really built this relationship, you know, and I see them now at event, and I completely, like, every time it's like, thank you for, you know, like it's completely different and inspiring. Like when you play as an artist and perform your sound. And for me, honestly, I always play it as telling a story, building a journey, you know, like that's the sound I like to go for while performing.
That's
But it's
beautiful.
all,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. And so I guess you've answered a lot of questions about your short-term vision and long-term vision. And I hope that we will get another chance to, you know, share an update about all the short-term events that you will be doing, and share some of your music through this campaign. Before we wrap up the interview, do you mind sharing some of your reasons to support this film project and encourage the audience to donate with open hearts, please?
Definitely, yes. First, because you, Ashish, honestly, like you know, like you're like doing this, you inspire me, and you inspire a lot of artists, right? And getting to know you, and all the, like, the, you know, the bond and connection that we had in LA. Also, you are an artist, bro. Like, you're, and I appreciate artists, and I appreciate the art they do. And you're trying also to deliver a message to all artists and to all dreamers to follow their dreams. And life is short, they say, but it's full of events, it's full of joy, full of happiness, full of love. It's full, there's so much to experience, and you're showing us different windows from like different people, different communities. Thank you so much for doing that, and I'm completely in, like
I'm super glad that we did this interview, and my love for you as a human being has increased multifold from this conversation, and I share similar feelings, and I am hopeful that we will make a film that is acceptable by many, if not all, and we can do that by some of the things that I learned from you from this interview, setting that good intention in whatever new ideas that we're trying to express and trying to make them understood by as many people as possible. So thank you for your time, my friend. Have a good one, and I'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much. You too, brother.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon. Bye.